can guarantee you we'll invite you back.
I'll give you 2 minutes just as a starter for 10.
Now that's Professor Sir John Bell, Regius Professor of Medicine at Oxford University, and he was a witness at last Monday's Health and Social Care Committee, where the topic of conversation was what lessons have been learned on the coronavirus, where the chair, Steve Brine, asked this question.
You know, it was said that we were in a very bad place as a country to receive a respiratory virus like this because we have poor health. We're too big, we're overweight, we're in a poor place to receive a virus like this. We're also doing a major prevention inquiry, as you know. I just wondered if you just give us 2 minutes of your thoughts on what you think we should be doing as a committee to recommend around that agenda.
Big suggestion, invite me back. I can give you 3 hours on that subject, I could tell you.
I can guarantee you we'll invite you back.
I'll give you 2 minutes just as a starter for 10. So what's really clear now is that we live, about 80% of the time we have a disease. Heart disease, diabetes, cancers, many of those things. We're completely asymptomatic, and yet we're brewing very bad trouble because we're living in a sort of miasma of bad risk factors, obesity, high blood pressure, high blood lipids, whole host of things that are going to cause trouble over time. And we are really, really bad at thinking about how we can prevent disease earlier, diagnose it earlier, because if you do that, you flatten all that late-stage morbidity. And the problems of the healthcare system turn out not to be some rare type of cancer where people have got a drug but there's only 100 cases in the country. That's, look, terrific, that's great. But the truth is the problems are obesity, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, asthma, mental health. And guess what? We're no good at any of them. We don't have services for obesity, we don't have services for mental health, we don't have services for prevention. It's a mess, actually, and that applies both to the research agenda, which has not been targeting those things, but also to the clinical agenda. So I think that's a domain where there needs to be some really serious thought about how we create a structure that will enable prevention, early diagnosis, and a different type of healthcare than what we currently offer.
Very interesting, eh? Now, my thought process was when Stephen Brine was talking about the country originally being in a bad state to deal with this type of pandemic. Now, rightly or wrongly, I did think that, well, who's been in charge for 14 years and which Prime Minister dropped the funding, if I remember rightly, for dealing with pandemics was our Spafford Johnson, was it? And also when the professor listed all these ailments and then said that we were very bad at dealing with them, I then again thought, rightly or wrongly, I just thought that, isn't that a bit of a sad indictment of 14 years of Tory rule and gruel? Now, I'll never say I'm an expert in this, but as I watched, those were the first things that popped into my head when I was hearing this. But what do you guys think? Was the professor absolutely brilliant? And also, if you want to watch the whole meeting, I'll leave a link in the description box below for you. And that just leaves it to say I shall bid you farewell and take care, my friends.